10 seconds.
Welcome to Clever Title Pending, a proud member of the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. We talk to creatives about creativity and the business behind them. So type in your questions and become part of the conversation. And now, here's your host, Brian K. Morris.
Hi, how the heck are you? How is everybody doing tonight? Oh, welcome to a very special Clever Title Pending, the last one. Actually, it's not the last one. Don't panic, everyone. What happened was, pardon me, I have a little ailment that I picked up over the weekend. No, it's not. It's not the myelocyrus. Anyway, we'll go into that in a minute, but first we want to give off some gratitude vibes here. And of course, we are always grateful to our wonderful people, Plasma Fire Graphics, Jeffrey Hayes and all. Check them out. Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you. When you've busted your hump and created the best work you can, you've edited it, you've got it laid out to perfection, then you need some great graphics, right? On the cover, not just there, but also to help sell it on social media, maybe even a book trailer. Well, you can contact Jeffrey Hayes at plasmafiregraphics.com, find out what his very affordable rates are, and also check out his work on Facebook, too. He's got a page there. It's amazing stuff. So please check it out. He's a great guy, and thank you, Jeffrey, for sponsoring this episode of Clever Title Pending. Plasma Fire Graphics, the look of your book matters to you because it sure as heck matters to your readers. And something that matters to me is the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. It's a group of like-minded individuals who are helping each other rise in their broadcasting skills and to find a larger audience, each and every one of us. And we've got entertainment and information coming your way 7 days a week. Let's see. Tomorrow morning will be Nevermind the Furthermore at its usual time at 10 a.m. Eastern. And then tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern will be Ted Davies and Glenn B. Fleming. They are the truth mongers. And they're going to be talking crop circles. Doesn't that sound cool? It really does. So please check that show out. It's very thought-provoking, a lot of fun. And then Thursday, we've got... let's see. Also, right now, I think Michaela's morning motivationalist is taking a little hiatus. But let's see. Thursday will be, it's going to be this show, Comic Book Spectrum. I don't think Ted's doing a Thursday morning show this week. But anyway, Comic Book Spectrum every Thursday night at 7 p.m. with myself, Eric Hawkins, Clyde Hall, and Brian Rodman. And then after that, Stupid O'Clock featuring Joe Dog McKeel and his cast of great commentators. It's the best talk and funniest talk show on the air. And stay tuned for Dan Hollifield's Last Man Standing. It's also good too. So check out our Facebook page, give it a like, and follow us. All right. And also follow us on Patreon too. We just posted another blog today. Hey, Brian, what's that blog about? Well, there's one way to find out. Go to www.patreon.com and become one of my supporters. And for $1 a month, you can get your name on this card here. Isn't that something? And also you get to read my exclusive blog. Every blog deserves a name. That's the only place you'll find it. And for $5 a month, you can check out our works in progress, which includes The Terrors, which we're hoping will come out this fall. And some members may get a chance to name some of the characters in there. So if you want to see your name on this card, go to www.patreon.com/Brian K. Morris and find out how. Anyway, I think that's all the thank yous I need to say. And whether you're watching us live or on the rerun, we do appreciate you. So anyway, let's get to some of your comments right away. Teresa Dunn here, listening and multitasking. Mwah, glad to see you, Dan Hollifield. Just got home from work about 15 minutes ago. Glad you saved me a seat. You've always got a seat here. And hello, Carl Witzman. Sorry I didn't get to see you on Saturday and Sunday at non-con, but I understand. And hey there, fellas. Michaela Jade says, mwah to you. And she's in bed already, but didn't want to miss this. Well, sweetheart, we're always glad we caught you. Never mind. Anyway, Carl and Donna, Carly, hello to you. Mwah, and hello, sweetie. Oh, my goodness. And Ted Davies Artistry every Tuesday morning. Don't forget Drinking the Davies. It's on Friday nights. It's going to be fun just before the Historical Fencing Guild on the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. And Ted, it's too late for coffee. Oh, hell no, it's not. We're switched to iced coffee now. That was one good thing about going to Middletown, Ohio. They have a Ted, they have a Tim Hortons there, and I loaded up. And good evening to you, Sarah. Always glad you're here, darling. And everyone's saying hello to each other. Oh, now I'll be up all night. That's all right. And hey, Michaela, and time to hit the like button. That's right. If you're watching on YouTube, do not forget to please hit the like button. We'll be talking about YouTube plans very soon. If you have not subscribed already, please do. It helps us battle the evil algorithms. And helicopters overhead and flying low, they must be looking for somebody. I'm over here in Indiana, and excuse me, here I am to save the day, although it'd be higher pitched because it's CindyCap, CKOEPP.com, or at least provide a bit of comic relief. And hello, beautiful people. That's a beautiful Keisha Acuff. Mwah, glad to see you here, sweetie. And what'd you do this time, Don? And it's the haunted mold crud. No joke, Don. I think I do have it. Spent last night coughing a great deal. So anyway, nothing's there. That's my story now. And I'm sticking to it. And neat portrait behind your right shoulder. Okay, this one. Well, the one is the kind of spooky one here is from Ariana Cherry of Cherry House Press. The one above it is from Ted Davies. And then I've also got the one over my left shoulder here, and that's a Clayton Merwin Captain Hawkland sequence. And it's not Clayton Merwin, it's Jeffrey Hayes, I believe. But anyway, it's beautiful. And anyway, and not falling for it. Whoa. And let's see here. And shenanigans, of course. And isn't there a cigar show Thursday? And okay, Carl, there is a cigar show Thursday. Ted and Carl will have their monthly cigar show on this Thursday at 11 a.m. And it's always good. Even if you don't smoke, it's cool. And Tales continue. It's the type of show. Carl just shows up whenever he wants. And walking into my room clean with you in my hand. Wonder what piece of furniture I'll walk into. Okay. And what's up, everyone? Congratulations and everything, BCAM. Cheers to the future. Thank you, Ryan Permisson. I appreciate it. And how about the picture with the cowboy hat? Let's see. The cowboy hat. Let's see. Well, there's me by Andy Cordy's daughter, Anna. There's another one of me from Lydia. And let's see, that's Skeletor. So I'm confused. But that's nothing. How about the pick in the cowboy hat? The one above me is Patrick Troughton as the doctor. But anyway, we'll figure it out later. But anyway, no, I wanted to. Part of this is I'm going to be asking you guys some questions for once. We'll get to that in a moment. But this will be the last. Never mind the furthermore for the, or not the never mind for clever title pending, excuse me, because we've been doing the show for about 2 years. I think a lot bit over. Originally, it started as kind of like a nighttime version of Never Mind the Furthermore, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern. But it was supposed to be a little bit more adult, even though I'm running it and I'm far from an adult. And after a while, I realized that I was getting tired of running the same show 4 times a week at the time. No, actually, by the time I changed it over, it was actually 8 times a week because I was broadcasting every morning. Hashtag don't do that. Unless you got something planned, which we'll talk about in a moment. But we started interviewing various creatives, and the response to it has been extraordinary. And I'm very pleased with how everyone's appreciated the guests we've gotten, and a number of them from the Nevermorian group here. Uh, and it is greatly appreciated your support of them in their Kickstarter campaigns with their new projects. Um, and I have to say that after a while, it's kind of I love talking to people, but my motto was I don't care what you have to sell. I care what you have to say. Uh, and we vetted a lot of people as where they had nothing to say, but they sure had something to sell. So when an opportunity came up, and I see he's in the audience, and we'll be getting to him in a moment, we were asked if someone could join the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. And my first thought is, why are you slumming? Because they have such a great following of their own, and their podcast is what this one would love to grow up to be, and it's the Dastardly Dingoes. And here he is, Mr. Brian Rodman himself. Good evening, my fellow clever Morians. I am humbled and excited to be settling into the slot with my dingoes next week. No, it's not code, people. And it's going to be a great show talking with BKM about creativity and worldview. That's correct. Next week, the next Tuesday, and for the foreseeable future, the Dastardly Dingoes are coming to the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. This is as official as it gets. And it's going to be Brian Rahman, Jeremy Woodring, and Chad Nuss bringing their own kind of humor and intelligence to the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to being their first guest on their new season. Now, because they have seasons, chances are when they decide to take a break, I will then resume Clever Title Pending. We also may have some special episodes that we may pre-record and present them that way. Even though I love the aspect of you guys, sugar, asking questions, because you guys and gals have come up with some great questions. And of course, if Cindy Kep likes you, she leaves jokes, which is how we all should be. By the way, Brian, we are honored to have you and Jeremy and Chad as part of our team. And thank you all for consenting to be here. And look the other way behind your right shoulder. Right shoulder. Okay. This one is this one down here. That is a picture by my friend Ethan of me as Wolverine. So it's not really a cowboy hat. It is like Wolverine type hair, which of course is a stretch. But anyway, yes, that's what that is. Most of the time, it's kind of obscured, so you can't see it. I hope that clears that up. Excuse me. Thank you, Cindy. And also go to ckoepp.com for the best newsletter in the world. I'm going to be reading mine later. Also, if you haven't already, go to www.risingtide.pub. You can sign up for my free monthly newsletter and check out the new design from Damian Waldbrun and have him work for you. He is great. And I need the help, Cindy. Thank you for being patient with me. Grant Lankard, good evening to you. Ryan Permisson question, will indie writers and publishers get more attention and respect than the big names do in the next 5 years? Because all of you are awesome. Thank you for that, Ryan. Let me ask you, I'd love to hear everyone else's opinion on it. My thought is it's already happening. There are some people who are publishing independently, a number of them in the romance field that I'm aware of, who are making 7 figures a year, and they are self-published. Slowly, I shouldn't say slowly, rapidly, the stigma against self-publishing is vanishing. In comics, it virtually doesn't exist to my awareness. In books, where 5 years ago, you still had the gatekeepers who were interested in the old way of doing things, saying, well, it can't be any good because nobody wanted to pay to have it printed. Well, now people realize we're investing our own money. And a lot of times our books are better edited than the bigger companies. I've got some real horror stories there. So I'm thinking we are going to get more attention and respect. USA Today is already regularly reviewing independently published books. I expect it's just a matter of time before places like the New York Times do the same. And especially since the number of venues for book sales are not exactly booming. They've got to fill those column inches somehow, and I think they're going to have all of them are going to have turned to independent publishers in the future. And I trust, Ryan, we're going to make you one of them. All right. Which is, let's see, or are you flip twice and that's your left? It's hard to tell because, I'm looking at myself, as you know, Cindy, I'm looking at myself and I have to remind myself, this is my right shoulder. This is my left, but the left is on the right hand side of the screen. And it's like, I can't keep it straight. So anyway, I'm glad I have you to help me with that. But anyway, no, getting back to what we're doing, we are starting a brand new show starting October 1st called BK Minutes. It's going to be a 1-minute show. I've done the first the first 10 episodes. It took me an hour and a half to do it. Oh my gosh. I wish there was a quicker way to do it, or I had better editing skills and I do it outside of StreamYard. But it's basically me talking fast for a minute, and we're going to cover a lot of subjects that I think you're going to want to know as a creative person. The focus is going to be on writing mostly, but I think it's something that will have a takeaway for everybody, regardless of your creative interest, whether it's illustration, comic books, novels, film, iridescent yoga mats, whatever, interpretive dance. Anyway, that there'll be something for everybody. And we're going to share what we've learned over the last 10 years, some things over the last 65. And we're going to try to bring you all up. And it's going to be 1 minute of your time. And we hope you'll find it interesting and you'll share it with your friends. And it's going to be a YouTube exclusive. So unless somebody shares it on Facebook, which will not be me, I would like you to come over to YouTube and glory in what I have learned. And I want to try to share it all with you. Brian Rahman and I, Brian Permison, are cut from the same cloth. Fun facts. Wow. Well, that's good because you're both cool guys and great creators. Donna, Carly, Carlene. Why are the comments so blurry? It might be. I was noticing today, I was watching a comic book he's a current comic book creator, but he's an independent one, and I noticed his were blurry, and I wonder if it's StreamYard. I don't know whether it's me or my view right now. I've got a good strong internet signal, so it might be something in StreamYard. Let me do some stuff here, and hold on. Let me go there and wait for this to load. And there's that. And then there's that. And this is getting complicated, people. Complicated. And then let's see if I'm broadcasting on here. And looks like I am. I'm looking at the Rising Tide broadcasting page, and it does not look like I'm blurry. So anyway, there's that. Hope that didn't mess up the sound or anything. But anyway, open up the video for us to jump on with you. Hold on, John. Go over to let's see. Hold on here. Let me do this. Because God knows I am not gonna let everyone on here. So anyway, there we go. I'm gonna let's see. Let me get this stuff put over here, and let me do this, and let's do that. And sure, I'll bring a couple of you on here. But mostly I want to talk to you. I want to ask you guys some questions about the future of this show. And I want to get some feedback from you so we can maybe improve the show. Because I don't want to run the show in a vacuum. And I'm glad you like it, Cindy. And congratulations on 2 great years of Clever Title Pending. Bobby Nash, BobbyNash.com. And thank you, Bobby. I do appreciate that, my friend. And thank you for being a major part of the shenanigans around here. And I promise you, man, you are coming back. And 11 a.m. Thursday Eastern Time, Carl and Ted Cigar Show. Cigar Manufacturing, how do they make those 6? Please join us. And yes, the landscape is changing. Yeah, Michaela, and we are changing with it. Which I think some people, I'm putting Michaela in this category, that she is going to be ahead of the curve. And you're going to see her she's going to flower. She really is. This is going to be her year. I'm predicting it. City Cap, that would be cool. Indy's getting name recognition, but it's nearly impossible to get the signal above the noise unless you have gratuitous everything. I don't know. I think persistence may pay, and it's just a matter of keeping at it until we find our audiences. I mean, it took me a while, but I'm getting a hold of them. So, indie comics and self-published authors are the future of the industry, says Brian Rodman. I agree with him. Big gatekeepers are losing the battle, and I absolutely love it. You and I, fella, are two of the people that are trying to break down the barriers. And don't forget, October 1st will be the first day of Brian Rodman's Kickstarter campaign for Memoirs of an Angel #8, and I'm going to be there. I'll be on the road, but I will pledge as soon as I get back to the room. And the Wall Street Journal already reviews indies too. Oh, that's right, Michaela. Thank you for reminding me. And Carl came and fixed it for me, all on my side. Okay, good, Don. I'm glad to hear that. And Ryan Permisson asked, should there be more indie writer and publisher conventions so readers can meet more writers? Definitely. In fact, working on it. Michaela and Nick Tockert and I have been talking about it, and we're drawing some more people into the conversation. We would like to set up a Rising Tide convention of sorts where y'all come in and meet us. And we're trying to find a mutually inconvenient and inexpensive location for most of us. So we will keep you posted on this as it goes along. And BK Minutes is going to be the bomb diggity. Well, Brian Rodman, I sure hope it is. It's going to take some ironing out. I recognize already that I've got some stuff I've got to fix. And here he is, the one, the only, the prophet of pop culture himself. Let me get him on the screen here. The one, the only, Mr. John B. Piker. John, how you doing, buddy?
I am doing great, Brian K. Morris. How are you doing tonight?
So far, so good. No smoke, no flame, no problem. So it's all good.
Well, congratulations on 2 years?
At least.
So what, over 100 episodes?
I think so. I know I can trace it back to at least, I don't know about 200 episodes, but I know that I'm pretty sure I started sometime in 2019. So it's been quite a few.
That's a huge milestone. Regardless.
Thank you. Well, thank you. It's been a lot, and again, I want to thank you for being a guest on an episode, man. So it's on the backs of people like you and several other people in the crowd here that I've gone to where I am. So
that was a lot of fun being on your show. Although you didn't keep me on for 4 hours like you do Glenn B. Fleming. I'm a little bit hurt. I'm a little bit wounded. I got to be honest with you.
Well, if I make that 1100 goal for my subscribers by Halloween, you may break the record. You may go beyond the Bobby Nash record here.
Well, so hey, let me tell you something about that. Because I keep hearing you trying to get to the 1,000 subscriber mark.
Yes.
To monetize, but you need to be aware that it's not just 1,000 subscribers.
I'm aware of that.
You've got to have I think 10,000 viewing hours.
It depends on what every time I look into it on YouTube, they give me different parameters. Let's just say
it's a moving target.
Yeah, it's a moving target. So I'm real close. There's that one page where on your dashboard where you can see how close you are to being monetized and everything.
Okay.
The only thing I lack is the 1,000 subscribers. But I'm going for 1,100 because too much is never enough.
That's fantastic. Never enough. Never enough for me.
There we go. And like Freddie Mercury, I want it all, and I want it now. So, so what are you're chilling out? You're not broadcasting tonight, huh?
No, it's a Tuesday night. It is Tuesday, right?
Otherwise, I'm broadcasting on the wrong night, which I have done before. So,
no, I do not have a broadcast night. Although I do have an editing night. I'm going to be editing Kelly Gettner's Back Issue Breakfast Club for tomorrow morning's release at 8 a.m.
Very cool.
Yep.
Yeah, check it out because the back of the Cereal Box Network. This guy's got some super content. You all need to be checking it out. Seriously.
Well, you know what? Something is going on with the Facebook algorithm, Brian. I but
How's
in
it
a
screwing us now?
no, it's been really good for us.
Oh,
So
good.
so you know the tale. I got put in Facebook jail. My account is restricted from going live on any of my pages and from advertising. I can't spend money with them. That seems
How?
like the biggest bonehead decision ever in the history of bonehead decisions. Because I've spent thousands of dollars on Facebook over the last 10 years. But anyway,
Yeah.
so we've just been doing our live streams only on YouTube and then using StreamYard, saving the video, and then uploading them a few days later natively to Facebook. And Facebook has been rewarding us in a big, big way.
Oh, nice.
We just had our Saturday video, and we were averaging between 500 to 1,000 views on Facebook. We're like 17,000 just from the video I posted yesterday morning from Saturday.
Oh, very cool.
We've got some that are hitting 20, 24,000, all because Facebook Watch is promoting it because it's native, what they call native video.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So for all of you live streamers out there, little pro tip, just FYI, we may continue to operate in this fashion for a while, even after the 60-day ban is lifted.
Nice. Very cool. Well, yeah, it's the problem with like Facebook and YouTube. Sometimes you don't get notice that the game has changed, but I'm proud that you figured out their nefarious ways, So it takes some smarts to do that. I'm very proud of you.
Well, I analyze things all the time. I don't get obsessed with numbers,
right?
But I like to know what's working, and so I pay close attention to what's working. And all of a sudden, this is now. And here's what's really funny about it, Brian. Yeah. Everyone keeps telling me short video, short form video. And on Instagram, short form video is going through the roof. Right. But on Facebook, it's the long form video that is doing so well for us.
That's good. That's good. Cool. Well, right now YouTube has that YouTube Shorts program.
Yes.
And that's what I'm, going to try to tag into and see if I can make that work for me. Plus, we have secondary uses for a lot of these videos as well.
Absolutely. Well, one of the things we're doing for Back of the Cereal Box is, we're doing product reviews and product reveals and stuff. And so the way we've structured it now with our segments, we're cutting those out, and we're an Amazon Live affiliate. So we're uploading those videos on Amazon Live and tagging the products that we're showing. And when people buy them from the tag, cha-ching, cha-ching.
That's right. Very good. Very good. Folks, I hope you're all taking notes like I've been doing. So that is awesome, John. I'm proud of you, man. That is really fantastic. And we've got some more people popped in here. Rick Bradley, glad to have you here. Carl Witzman, yeah, it has been a great run. And good evening to you. Damien Waldbrun, lots of cool stuff in that campaign. And I'm going as fast as I can, City. I'm going as fast as I can. And I vote for, Damien wants us to have it in Louisville, Kentucky. And Rising Tide, Con, I'm there. Say the word. The word. Now what? Anyway.
Well, the word is the bird.
That's right.
Or no, it's the other way around. Well, hey, listen, I don't want to dominate your show. I just wanted to come on.
I can go out. You can have it. Really, I'm not doing anything anymore. So
I just wanted to come on and say congratulations.
Thank you, brother.
To a great run, and super excited for everything you're doing, and keep it up, brother.
Will do, brother. Got to try to keep up with you, my man.
No. There's no such thing as competition in Rising Tide.
That's right. We are competing against ourselves.
That's right.
Yeah, seriously.
That is absolutely right.
Yeah, nobody's happier for your success than I am, John. And I hope it continues long into the future, my friend.
And ditto.
Thank you, man.
We will talk to you later. Everybody have a great night. We'll catch you on the flip side.
You too, John. Take care, buddy. And thanks again for showing up. And if anybody wants to get on here, if assuming I like you, but anyway, this is the test. Do I like you? But anyway, thank you, John B. Pica, for being here. Check out the Back of the Cereal Box Network on YouTube and on Facebook because it's awesome. And Rising Tide Con. We were talking about it, in fact, at NonCon this last week, and bring the Rising Tide to Maryland. Do it. It could be a road show, dude. It could be a road show. And for the RTCon, there we go. And now John's here. I got to go. Well, he's gone now. You can come back. And indie stories and indie careers are being recognized by Hollywood. Yeah, the future is bright. Get your shades. Yeah. And Ted Davies, if you did not watch his TED Talks a week ago today, Ted has just optioned one of his comic books to Hollywood, and he's also going to be doing some podcasts. I hope we can get some of that podcast action, Ted. Don't leave us behind. And 2 years of giggles and bloopers. Yeah, Teresa, some episodes are nothing but a blooper reel around here, but we're glad we could bring them to you. Sarah says, I've watched the show since the beginning. I remember you holding up your website in your hand before you went digital. Big differences from start to now. Yeah, that's true. A lot of people can remember. In fact, look what I found. I did not plan this, Sarah, but look what I found. Oh man. Which means I need to clean my desk more often. But yeah, we were. Yeah, I kept saying at the time that we weren't just low tech, we were no tech. Yeah, but yeah, this show's come a lot, and a lot of it is because of people we've associated with ourselves with, and people like yourselves who have encouraged us to basically reach a little higher, reach a little farther, and we've tried to teach others to do the same thing, and that's partly what BK Minutes are going to be about. And for moving targets, make sure you lead your target. That's right. And I'm trying to lead the target away. And Rising Tide Con sounds cool. Bobby Nash, there's always going to be a table for you, brother. Trust me on that. It's one of those things where we're working on logistics, but I have to say that if the YouTube Shorts things that I'm doing pan out the way I would sincerely like them to, we will have it sooner than later. And I will say that one of the reasons, I've said this before on the morning show, that I'm doing what I'm doing right now is I want to, in terms of building my YouTube presence, is it's going to filter down to the rest of the network. So it is very cool. It's not for me. It is for us. So, and I'm so proud of you, Ted. We all are. We are so proud of Ted. He's done so well. And Rising Tide Convention, Ted Davies Artistry will be there and help organizing. Lets me know BKM. Well, when it comes to organizing, I'm probably the worst person in the world. So, we definitely will be calling on you. And it has to be somewhere I can get a ride to. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Maybe I'll have a Uber driver drive you to Lafayette. We've got a spare room, So anyway, and I need my assistant there, and everyone's saying hello. Yes, we see you there, Teresa. Hello, and yes, you've grown too, Teresa. You've put out 2 very wonderful books of poetry with a 3rd in the hopper. And think, every one of you, I'd like you to think for a moment where you were 2 years ago. And I hope that Clever Title Pending helped you get there in some small way. I know that I haven't released a book in about 2 years through Rising Tide, but just to say my sales have been decent. And we have received so many opportunities in the last couple of years. And it's one of those things, I haven't signed any NDAs lately, but I am sworn to secrecy on a number of things that when the levee breaks, you're going to get sick of seeing my name. Sarah says, I'm getting everything together to create a professional looking page specifically for beta reading, reviewing, or promoting. It's pretty involved in the works. I'll keep you posted. Please do. And I jump up. I'm hooked up to my CPAP, getting that sweet, sweet air. Brother, we understand. I look like Bane and sound like Tom Hardy before they remastered his voice. Brother, I want you to keep breathing, man. We've got glorious destinies in front of us. And let's see, just had comment dump after comment dump. You rock too, Cindy. Never forget that. And yeah, talk about timing, right? The fact that I still got it. And Teresa Dunn's going to stretch. She has not only got 2 books of poetry with a third on the way, she's also going to give her. She's had an idea for some comics that I think could go. Rick Riley says, I remember the clever title over 2 years ago where you let me ask all the questions. Oh, that's right. That's right. Rick was one of our early interview shows, except we turned around. What happened was we had just met Rick at BurgCon 2019, and it was Kathy Jackson, Amy Hale, and myself that met him. And I thought it would be really cool to have Rick on asking questions of the audience, which, by the way, I still want to ask you guys some questions. And we have to play the crazy card game of COVID cooperates from Sarah Saracon. Sarah Saracon is still in the books. I'm also looking at Amy Hale Con, Michaela Con. We got all kinds of conventions. Brian Robin, what a huge accomplishment this is, my friend. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Clever title pending, and never mind the furthermore saved my sanity last year and introduced me to some of my best friends. It did the same for me. What a coincidence. I'm so thankful for you and your mission. You're an inspiration. Thank you. And I will gladly follow you into the breach. Captain, my captain. I'd be glad to lead. I'm serious. I think we are all leaders in the Rising Tide movement. That's what sets us apart from other so-called cults of personality. Let's see. And I'm going to message you about mine and Dominic show for Rising Tide Network. Looking forward to it, my man. Looking forward to it. And I'm missing out on Dead Con because I don't have a ride. I'm sure there'll be more. I pine over along the way. Yeah, but there'll be some other triumphs heading your way too, Sarah. So don't give up. All right. And never surrender. And if you want me to jump on, let me know. I got your back, brother. Hey, if you want to show up, I'd be glad to send you a link. Just let me know. Now, first of all, though, I have a list of questions. No, it's not the whole book. Don't panic. I'd like to ask you all questions, and I'd like serious answers because this is important. And I've got about a dozen questions, and I'll probably think of more. First of all, in watching the shows, and I appreciate that many of you watch simply because it's me and you value my friendship and as I value yours. And Sarah, I couldn't ask for a better companion. Thank you, sweetheart. And Rick, let me ask my question and I'll send you that link, okay? First of all, in watching Clever Title Pending, if it were a choice between watching and not watching, what would draw you in? Interviews, like we've had the solo interviews like Stuart Sager, Bobby Nash, and so on, or would you rather see panels like we've had panels on imposter syndrome, promotion? Do you have a preference, and if so, which one? Rick, I'm gonna send you the link. I'm gonna shoot it to you via Facebook. And let's see. So while you're coming up with your great answers there, I'm going to send Rick the link here. And there you go. All right. Okay. Check your Facebook Messenger, Rick Bradley. And Ted Davies Archery says, Rising Tide has been and is a foundation to which Ted Davies is forever grateful. You all have shown me an opportunity to help others and build my business by doing good for others. We all rise. Exactly. That was the purpose of why I started Rising Tide. So, and Donna says panels. Okay. Yeah, I realize I haven't been doing panels lately, and I'm kind of wondering if which way I should go. And interesting characters are interesting topics. Both are an equal draw. Thank you, Cindy. I'm going to put as a one in each. And Brian Rahman, I think a mixture of panels and interviews are best. That's the format we have on the Dastardly Dingoes podcast, and people seem to like the balance. Okay, cool. All right. That's good to know. And let's see. I'm going to do something so I know that these are sharing. Okay, there we go. I'm keeping track. So yeah, and we'll let this go for another 5 minutes. Do you prefer panels, or do you have a preference? Panels or individual people. And Ted says panels. Okay. Yeah, I kind of like panels. I think there's an educational aspect to panels that I think you can actually learn from anybody we had on here. Well, it's like when we had Stuart Sager on last week. I got all kinds of compliments because, yeah, he's an illustrator. Oh boy, what an illustrator he is! But he had some things to teach that were useful for writers and publishers, and that's one of the reasons I wanted him on here. And yeah, he had a couple of comic book covers coming out last week, but I knew he had something to tell you guys. And we've got, here's my little book. I got it from Book Launchers, which is a company that helps people put out nonfiction books, and you can hire them to do various services. But I've had people like Moonlight Films, Rebecca Westerman, Glenn B. Fleming, Charles F. Milhouse, Bobby Nash, Joe Dog McKeel, Kara Nicole and Lisa Malone, Jackie Nelson, Teresa Dunn, Rick Bradley, Charles F. Milhouse, Meredith Loughran, Carl Witzman, Amy Hale, and I hate to leave anyone out, but this book is full of names with people that have got cool things to say. So, pardon me. Damien Walburn said, panels, we got that, and both maybe themed months with interviews and a panel at the end of the month with an AMA. Okay, cool. Oh, that's a good idea. And that's the thing about the AMA. We've gotten. I did the one on my birthday, and that turned out well. And we've done a couple AMAs, and I'm glad to do them. That was a lot of fun. And I like panels targeted at a specific topic. Okay, excellent. Thank you, Carl. Panels is running away. I like both. That is a tough decision. Okay, Sarah's throwing in her vote with Carl. So anyway, yeah. And it looks like 2-1. Right now it's panels. I'm going to give you guys a couple more minutes. And if it's going to be sporadic and released, then I would say panels on very interesting and helpful topics for creatives. Okay, thank you, Brian. Thank you, Brian. Okay, got that. And now we've got the one, the only. Oh, and can't forget Ron. Oh, yes, a special moment when Ron Fitzgerald cosplayed me last Halloween. And why don't Daughter and Laughter sound the same? That's a good point. I know the man who to ask about it. I think it's Rick Bradley. Hi, Rick Bradley.
Hey, how's it going?
Not bad. How are you, brother?
Tired, but that's normal with a newborn.
Oh, that's true. Yes. Yes, there's another development of the last 2 years that Rick has increased the size of his family. So, and congratulations, continue. I love seeing the pictures of the wee one.
Oh yeah, he's a stinker.
Well, that's why you got the spousal unit to change the diapers, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yep. I was actually in the process of doing dishes, and I was like, "Oh man, he needs someone on. I'll gladly put the dishes down. I'll make the sacrifice and come out here."
Oh man, I'm sorry to be taking you away from that. I know how much your dishes mean to you, and
that's
Carl
okay.
Persuasive. And Ryan Robbins says, Rick, I started to ship your nebulizer book, then I put it back on the shelf. I might ship it out tomorrow.
Hey, I got a package from you, Brian Rodman. So if you're trying to pull a trick on me, haven't had a chance to open it yet. I haven't had a chance to do much of anything yet.
I can imagine. And Rick, how's that baby?
He is a lot better than what he was. He had jaundice pretty bad. His numbers were high. They call it a Billy number or something. I don't know. Medical. I'm not a doctor.
Okay.
But his numbers were at 17.5. And if the numbers get up to 20, that could cause brain damage and seizures. But Friday, we went to the ER because he wasn't keeping anything down.
Right.
And we were out there till 5 a.m. And his numbers were better even at the ER. So we had a little light to keep him under. And the doctor took the light yesterday. Said his numbers are good enough that it's just going to clear up on its own now. And I'm like,
oh man, that's never easy. I'm telling you.
Oh yeah.
Good thing I haven't spawned. And he's just getting you already have your hands on Brian's package. So
oh yeah. I keep longingly looking at it and wanting to grab it, but
I understand there's a lot there. Moving on, Sarah, way to procreate. Yeah, way to procreate, Rick.
I try.
That's right. Yay for those little fast swimmers. And anyway, Ted Davies Artistry says, congrats, Rick. Good health to you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ted. So, well, your life has changed in the last couple of years. Not just the the baby, but you asked all the right questions at the convention, and look at you 4 months later.
Right. You're I would get a copy of the Nightmare Collective out, but my garage is a wreck, and it'd take me a second to dig for it. But I got that. Uh-huh. Marvin's Night Out, Paul Pirelli #1, Tales of the Weird and Strange #1, and I'm working on more as much as I can now. But
but you still make time for writing, I hope.
Got an app on my phone, and whenever I get a couple minutes, I try to at least put a couple lines down, just something.
Nice. And Cindy Kemp is congratulating you on the new microhuman. Oh my God, that's funny. You're the best, Cindy. But no, it's I appreciate you coming on here, man.
Oh, definitely. I'm gonna miss watching it every Tuesday night, but I guess I'll put up with the other Brian.
I'm thinking you're trading up, actually. So I love their show. So and I'll be on the first one, so I'll be dragging it down to the standards you've come to expect from this broadcast. So
I couldn't have it any other way.
That's right, and you're not getting it another way, so that's the way it works. Let's see. Here we go. You want to hang around for the next question?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Now we established that in the first question that y'all prefer panels over guests, and I thank everyone that participated in that. Sarah says, I'll snuggle the baby while you write. I want baby snuggles.
He's a good snuggler like me.
There you go. I'll just hold my arms real close to my body, Sarah, and you won't even know the difference. Favorite types of guests. Now, guests did get some votes. But favorite, and Rick, I'll let you answer this first. Do you prefer writers, artists, publishers, actors? What?
Oh, gosh. I mean, I love them all.
Oh, yeah.
But being a writer, I kind of prefer writers because, I can learn something from everyone. Mm-hmm. But I feel like with a writer, it's a bit more focused on what I want to learn.
Okay. All right. And what area, now that I have you here, what areas do you think you would like to hear more about as far as writers go?
Marketing. I don't think I can ever have too much marketing knowledge.
Yeah, that's true of all of us. Can't get enough. But anyway, the audience, this is open to you guys too. Otherwise, Rick gets to decide what the show is like and tremble in terror at the very concept that Rick is guiding this. So anyway,
power.
That's right. Yeah, big fish, small barrel. Blah. But So while we wait for those comments, and Sarah says all of the above to learn about each method various people use. Okay, I should make an all category in my little notebook here. Thank you, Sarah.
I do have an Infinity Gauntlet over there somewhere. So, I can let that, corrupt me.
There you go. Yeah, well, you can see how little it took for me to get corrupted, the massive amount of power I don't wield here. So, and someone else who's biased, Damian Walbron, says artists. All right. Thank you, Damien. By the way, speaking of Damien, check out my website. Damien did a killer job of redesigning it. I had designed it before, but Damien made it attractive to the eye and useful, which was everything my relentless labors had not managed to accomplish. So anyway, and if you want your website redone, go to Damien because he's amazing. And most definitely, I'm taking that as a vote for writers, since you is one. Although Cindy could go for crocheters, probably. We could have more crocheters on this show because Cindy's an excellent crochet artist. Because you see that I am an amigurumi now.
Yes.
See, Rick, this is what you can aspire to. And notice how it is totally, it is accurate. It is totally accurate, So
It's
anyway,
beautiful.
I know, isn't it though? And and need more crafty types. Well, I'm as sneaky as they get. So,
I don't think she meant that crafty. But.
That really. So anyway, enough of that, Brian. Anyway, yes, crafters are artists. That's the thing. I've noticed that a lot of conventions, at least as of a couple of years ago, a number of people were kind of like up in arms about craft people coming in. But it's a creative field too, and as long as it's relevant to what the show's about, it's like, why the hell not?
Mm-hmm.
I say, it doesn't impact me. So at least I hope it doesn't. So anyway, yes, we've got 4 votes right now. Does anyone else want to weigh in on this? Because otherwise, and toy makers, yes. Oh, how could I forget toy makers? All right, writing it down. Toy makers. Yes, keeping in mind. Damien, we got to get you on this show when we come back, serious, and showing more comic book suggestions for all genres. Well, that's the thing. It's funny you should mention that, Sarah, because that's just the sort of thing we do every Thursday night on Comic Book Spectrum at 7 p.m. with this beloved group of panelists here.
Oh, so let me do my Brian Rodman.
There you go. And I'm doing the other part of Brian Rodman. Anyway, so it's uncanny. You close your eyes and it's just like he's there. And Funko Pops. No, we're not going to do Funko Pops. Cookie is about to kill me as it is. Because I keep Rick should. Yeah. Case in point. Actually,
see what I mean? This poor thing is a mess in here. Oh my gosh, I got so much to go through.
Well, Rick, there is a reason why the camera is fixed in this direction. This is
exactly
the only part of my office that I can show people.
Like back here, it's kind of organized.
Yeah. Notice I don't show the desk or the floor or parts of the room I can't get to. But anyway, but no, I had established a long time ago there was a number of Funko Pops you could own and not be considered like addicted. But that level seems to have risen in the last couple of years, especially when I went to a toy store and picked up 5 of them in one day. I've never done that before.
Oh, I was in GameStop a while back, and I started to walk out the door, and I just kind of glanced over to my left, and I saw Strahd, his name, on a Funko Pop box, and I'm like, Strahd von Zarovich? I love Ravenloft. So, of course, I turned around, went back in, bought the darn thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, I swore I would never buy another one, and look at me. I'm backsliding.
Oh, I know. I did the same thing, and then, last year I got 3 Ultramen, 2 additions to the Masters of the Universe, and a Flash Gordon Funko Pop. I had to get Prince Zartan. That's all there was to it.
Hey, one of these days they'll make a Funko Pop of us. They're going to have to.
I'm thinking so. They could have like a Rising Tide line, it'd be you, me, Michaela, Ted, Carl, Donna, it'll be the group here. So, and Donna, Carly, shouldn't that be action figure makers? I think Damien was probably more honest than a lot of them. So I think that's probably the reason why he just goes, it's a toy, don't bother me, it's okay. So,
I'm gonna have to get a hold of him for some of my future books. So.
Yeah. I'm. He and I have already begun talking, and in fact, if it weren't for an editing project I'm in the middle of that that kind of came my way, and I have to execute it to the best of my ability. And we'll see if the author is still speaking to me after I turn it in, because I am I tend to be thorough. That's why I'm slow. But
how many highlighters have you gone through?
It's a wash in a sea of yellow. But if I could talk more about it, I would tell you offline what it's about and everything. But anyway, because I don't know that he wants me to talk about it yet, although he's talked about it a lot. So anyway, but I leave it for him. And have you played with the Funko Pop generator? I need to write that down. Funko Pop generator.
it's like crack. If I look at it, I'm going to want to mess with it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I stay away from the generator. I'm like, no.
Yeah, somebody had done that for me. Meredith Walker, I think, did that for me when I was with Geek Insider. But unfortunately, I forgot to download it when I left, so she still got it. So anyway, I'll have to go in there and maybe like a range of shirts and
I'm
stuff,
sure if you ask her
some bow
nicely,
ties.
she'd
Yeah,
hook you up.
I think so. Yeah, and also, I maybe I could get one with my steampunk fez in there too, which by the way was the hit of non-con last weekend. And Sarah
Well, it should
says,
be.
I don't have any yet. Found one I've been a fan of for over 20 years online. It may be my first pop. And Damian Walburn says, I make toys, Donna. Oh, toys to be precise. And Cindy made a Funko Pop image of herself. I remember that. So that was absolutely adorable, just like Cindy. So anyway, I guess that's all the comments we're going to get on favorite types of guests. And let's see. Oh, here we go. I'm going to ask both questions because they're kind of on the same. And I am on. The reason I have so many questions on guests is that one, I want to make it worthwhile, and two, I thought guests would win the poll. So that shows what the hell I know and why I should ask these questions. What kind of guest would you like? Well, we did kind of answer the one. So, what is the kind of guest you'd like to see less of? And don't say the host because that's kind of a given. So anyway, let's see. Donna Carlene says, "Okay, Damien, you know what you should do, and maybe it's a good thing that Midgard has shorter hours." Taps. Sarah's like, "Yeah, she's got it bad, and that's good." Anyway, okay, Rick, you're here. What kind of guests would you like to see? Yeah, you. We're putting you on the spot here. That's what you get for volunteering.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's like
I thought we were friends.
Oh, we are. That's why I'm pushing you forward with love. Anyway, I'm being careful where I slide the knife into your vertebrae. But anyway, what kind of guests would you like to see fewer of?
What were the choices again?
You make it. I mean, I get it that you want writers, so you better not say writers. Yeah. But you've got artists, publishers, actors, toy makers. Although I think we should keep toy makers.
Oh yeah.
So
the judge for Marvin's Night Out, I think, would make a good toy.
Are you listening, Damien? Are you listening? But Ted Davies Artistry, who knows, says Damien makes the most amazing figures. Ted Davies Artistry certified. Ooh, that's cool. Whereas Rising Tide is certifiable. But anyway, no, is there? And it's okay to say no, Rick. Is there a type of guest you would like to see less of?
I mean, I like I said, I like all the guests that come on. I think they've all got something to share and definitely something to knowledge to give us. I mean, I don't learn as much from actors.
Okay.
But I still like them.
Okay. No, that's good. That's a good one. That's a good answer. Does anyone else have an answer? This could wind up being a very short list here. Okay, here we go. All right. So, and all ears will talk, Rick.
Nice.
See, now that's one of the beauty things about this extravaganza that we do here on our end, in that, well, and I'm not trying to take credit, Rick. I'm honestly not. But I believe you found out about Nightmare Collective from me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep, you introduced me to Jen. So.
Yeah, so when we find out stuff, we share the information, which is
networking. God, it's the best thing.
Oh yeah, that's the best thing about this group, I think, and that we're also like-minded. And Carl Weston said, "I'm glad that he clarified that he wanted a group and not an individual. I'm sure that some people would like less of Carl, but too bad I'm hijacking Friday morning. People love
we got to keep our Uncle Carl. We love you. Don't even."
Seriously, yeah, Carl. That sounds like imposter syndrome, Carl. Have I ever told you what I've learned about it? I'm telling you, I could cure you, buddy. But no, check out Friday mornings. Never mind the furthermore. Uncle Carl has graciously volunteered to do the show for me because I'm going to be on the road by then.
As long as I don't go to sleep at 7 a.m, I'll be watching it.
Yeah. And Carl runs a great show. And in fact, I got to tell you, I keep track of the numbers. Carl's numbers are usually better than mine. So, He's got to be doing something right. So please check out Carl. And if he has Aunt Donna on, then even better. And the guests I would like to see less of, well, those who can't put together a sentence without a blankety blank or rely over much on sexuality, says Cindy Cap. Cindy, I'm in the room, okay? Do you mind? But anyway, no, no, Cindy, I understand that. And we have been consciously trying to cut back on that type of guest. And I do watch some creators on other shows, which gives me an idea to maybe I should do what I call the tap on the shoulder. And if, you know, like you, if they can't express themselves without an F-bomb every other word, then I think they don't need to be on this show. So
it's funny because, like, I'll be honest, when I'm not on here and not around my toddler, because my toddler will jump on me about it.
Right.
I cuss like a sailor. It's bad.
So do I. Yeah.
She'll look at me. She'll be go, "Daddy, that's a bad word. You don't say bad words." I'm like, "I'm sorry." But like the thing I'm planning with Donovan, heck, I might as well say what it's going to be about.
Talk about it if you want, right? Yeah.
It's going to be called R&D Gaming. We're going to just review different types of video games, everything from Atari to PS4. I told him that, while we're on talking about it, I'm not going to really do cursing or anything like that.
Right.
But now if I ever do a live play of a game, we'll have to have a disclaimer because because the game's going to screw up and it's not going to be me and I'm going to be mad at the game, of course.
Oh, it can never be you, of course. Yeah. Yeah. No. I agree. I agree with Cindy that, and I have been guilty of dropping bad words occasionally. I will admit that on the air, and I do. But I also am trying to be better.
But that's not your character, I guess. You're not cursing just to curse. If you let it slip out, there's a valid reason for it.
I have problems with the S word more than anything. I can usually keep the F bombs to like other people's shows during the breaks. But as for my own, I have let the S word drop a few times because there are some subjects I am passionate about. Now we've had some guests who have dropped F bombs, but it's usually in recent months, I should say, because we're not hanging around the same people we used to a year ago. Y'all know the story. But I have had some people that have dropped the F-bomb, but it is usually because it is a subject which they are absolutely passionate about, which I totally get. And it's only, I think the worst I've had in the last year has been like maybe one per month of shows, and I've been including Nevermind the Furthermore and Comic Book Spectrum, which has been remarkably clean, except for the Batman episode, the Batman and Catwoman episode. That one's a wash. But anyway, and
that was doomed from the start.
That was totally. When you have three adolescents, but Clyde Hall's the best writer. That's he had all three of us crying. We were laughing so hard. But no, Cindy, that's a valid point, and that is. The potty mouth crowd is not the one that I want to gravitate to because I think it also limits what we can do on here and the reach that we can have, because it's not specifically for, ratings or subscriptions or likes or thumbs ups or whatever. It is just simply that we have a message we're trying to get out. We are trying to reach, especially on a show like this, where we have someone like you or a guest that has something to say, and we want them to have the widest opportunity to give their message out.
And I've toned down my relying on my sexuality. So, I mean, I'm sexy and I know it, but I'm keeping it toned down.
I know, but there's only so much you can do because you are such a tasty piece of man candy that I fully understand.
Stop it. You're saying that because it's true.
I am, and I know if you'll give me just another 45 minutes, I should be able to get it out of my system. All right. But anyway, and here's the answer I thought would come up. Sometimes I tell people as an interviewer, I ask questions where I sometimes know the answer. And I'd been suspecting this. Fewer Kickstarters. And Carl, that I'm writing it down, but actually you are on the same wavelength I am. In the last not several, I say in the last year, I've gotten a lot of people who will try to contact me and say, I don't know, of course, I don't know them at all. And they will say, I've got a Kickstarter. When can I come on your show? It's kind of like there's this, somehow they've made this connection that they have a Kickstarter, thus I have to put them on the show. Now, there are many shows that do offer um, receptive audiences to continual Kickstarters. Indie Volt does a super job of it on their shows at 9 o'clock. Pops Van Zandt has a number of shows, not just during the week, but also CromCon at the end of the month. And those shows are geared up for comic book creators in particular to do Kickstarters, whereas ICS is more of an informational show. Yes, we will sometimes have people come on and they have Kickstarters, but they are not here because they have Kickstarters. We've had Luke Stone on a couple times. He had Kickstarters going, but we didn't do it because he had Kickstarters. We did it because he was Luke Stone and he's crazy talented.
Yeah, we talked about the Kickstarters a little bit to be like, hey, he's got this going on, but then the rest of the show is about just a bunch of other interesting tidbits coming. So yeah.
Yeah, and I'm aware also that the reach that I'm going to say the reach. I think that's the wrong word, but we used to be able to. Well, like we've had a couple morning shows where we've gotten some modest Kickstarters within spitting distance of their goal just during the part of our show, but that's happened less and less often. And so it's gotten to the point where somebody says, well, I've got a Kickstarter. Can I come on your show? And I explained to them, we don't have our audience I'm no longer have the people that really, really, go gaga over crowdfunding, or I have gone to the well too often, which is what I suspect I've done unwittingly. But anyway, Carlene says, definitely agrees with you about that. So we're going to put 2 votes down for Kickstarters. And now, Carl,
I'll go ahead and throw that on there too. Change mine from actors to Kickstarters.
I'll let you do both. Both. You're kind enough to come on here, so I'm going to let you do both. So, but no, what I probably should clarify, and Carl and Donna, I'd love your feedback on this. Do you mind a Kickstarter mention as long as they are here for something else? I don't know if I can explain it right. Like last week, we had Stuart Sager, who was amazing, fascinating guy, and a great guy to boot. And I wanted him to talk about how he rose up in the industry, how he went from independent comic book production to getting a theater for him and his wife to watch the Superman movie. How do you make those steps? And I've had a number of compliments on it. But he also wanted to promote the fact that he was doing some covers for IDW, and that's fine. And I'm just wondering, as long as the main thrust is not Kickstarter, that there's something else. Again,
I would go. Yeah, I'd say.
Okay,
that's good.
Okay, cool. And Sarah says outer space stuff. And see, Cindy wants less of me. Oh, don't listen to her. Don't listen to her, Carl. We want more, more, more. How do you like it? How do you like it? And thumbs downers, in all seriousness, not sure I'll abstain this vote. Well, here's the thing about the cloth that is giving us a thumbs down. One, I think it may, I changed who I think the guy is. Because actually, truth be told, I've blocked several people from this broadcast. Who have proved problematic, shall we say. And we want to distance ourselves from them. Notice how it's plural. So I'm wondering if it's one of my friends just trying to be a butthole and trying to keep me humble. Ha ha ha, the odds are against you with that. But anyway, Damien, thank you. Your vote has been counted. And my numbers are high, like my cholesterol. Dude, you'd be dead if your cholesterol was this with these kind of numbers. And yes, respected Cindy. And sorry, Cindy. And Cindy says, well, I don't want to censor other folks unless what they're doing is illegal. So it's not what I want to see. I changed the channel. Well, we want to keep you here as long as we can, Cindy. We want this, I hate using the term safe space, but we want this to be a place where people can be comfortable. And we have had some behind the scenes incidents which did not contribute to it. We have corrected that. And Cindy is aware of what I'm talking about. So is several other people, and I don't want that for you, Cindy. We're watching it, and we're all trying to be better on here. So, and just teasing you, Cindy. And is this a bad time to remember Cookie and the F-bomb? Yes. Yes. My wife stabbed me in the back last week.
See, the rules don't apply to Cookie, though. That's the thing.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. And she kept saying, well, and who heard it? Who heard it? She was on the landing, but this is a very sensitive microphone here. And so, I'm sure people heard it.
I just remember the look on your face. It's just like,
yeah. It's like, damn it, honey. Here I am trying to keep the F-bombs off the show. And here she is just casually. I hope her mom was watching. And yes, I kissed that mouth. Anyway, but yeah, you're right, Rick. The rules do not apply to Cookie. So, and I love how my audience is like, most of you are aware I'm trying to keep the F-bombs down, and there you are. You go, Cookie. You go. Thanks for nothing, people. You've not helped my situation here at all.
We know better than to fight the dragon. Okay.
That's a lesson I probably need to take to heart myself. I haven't learned it in 30 and a half years. Anyway, Donna Carlene says, I surprised Joe Dog McKeel the first time he had me on Stupid O'Clock because I neither drank nor cussed. Wow. Well, if he was used to you from the green room, I could understand that. But you make it beguiling, Donna. That's the difference. And it's out of respect and not feeling censored at all. Thank you, Sarah. Sarah, appreciate that. And Cindy still loves me because she said, what did the Spanish radio host say after breakfast? Adios. I love it. And Cindy, that was a good one. That was, Carl. That really was. And 1 in 4 frogs is a leap. Frogs is Chris Turner and Cindy Kemp. See, this is something I also explained to the guests that, Cindy will give us clean jokes and they're funny. And, I said that means she likes you. And it's usually they get into it. They get into it. That's cool. And Sarah says, I agree with Carl. I love to hear about books I can pick up or order for my pull box. Yeah, just what you need, Sarah. More encouragement. And right, Sarah, books that are already done and out. We see that is one of the things. A little aside here. Comic Book Spectrum was created with that in mind. That they're, like I said, Indie Volt and Pops Van Zandt and the Comic Related Madness do an incredible job of highlighting Kickstarter campaigns for independent comic books. And we love those guys. I'm serious. I talk to those guys a couple times a week, it seems. And we trade notes and, we keep each other apprised of stuff and we help each other with guests and everything. But they do a far, I recognize I don't do as well in that regard as they do. So I'm happy to let them have, people trying to do the make the rounds. Now, it's not to say I'm not going to have comic book guests. We're going to have Dan Doherty and Daphne Lage on next month, different shows on Never Mind the Furthermore. But they're fun. Daphne is great. Daphne's been at this a long, long time. And Dan Doherty released one of the funniest books I've read in ages, Floppy Cop. I laughed out loud at a lot of them. And Cookie, who thinks my humor is sometimes a bit puerile, and I can't dispute it. I read a couple of the jokes to her, and she was laughing too. So you crack the cookie barrier there. But yeah, but part of our and the other 3 guys agree with me is that the book should, when we review a book, it should be available, whether it's at your comic shop or from the person's website. Or it should have been fulfilled as part of a Kickstarter. It should be available. You should be able to stop the show and order the book and have it come to you, or you go out and get it. And I have had a couple people, well, can I talk about my comic on Comic Book Spectrum? No, we're not going to talk about Kickstarters. So, but we have reviewed Kickstarted books, such as Memoirs of an Angel, and then we've got to review the Nebulizer sometime. We're all thinking we should just throw the books.
I'll go ahead. I'll read my copy, and then I will tear it down.
Okay.
I don't care if it's great, because it probably will be great, but I'll just tear it down.
It is. It's a super book. Yeah. Rick's gonna break out in a sweat looking for something to complain about. That is a super book. And yeah, Carl is right. There are plenty of shows for crowdfunding promos. I agree. And mentioning they have a Kickstarter is cool. Yeah, and I don't mind doing it. But like I had such a great time with Dan when he was on Clever Title Pending with Seth DeMoose a few months ago. And Daphne Lage, I've been on with her for the Sunday Funnies with Randy Zimmerman on the Indie Volt Network, and she's a delight. She is totally wonderful. So that's why I'm having them on. So anyway, and yes, Carl, in keeping the comic shop from having to pledge in order for me to get the physical book. And what is it, some kind of show? Never. Let's do a show on here. What the hell are you thinking, boy? Anyway, Eric Hawkins. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, Eric Hawkins, our co-star on Comic Book Spectrum and the artist and writer, illustrator, I should say, of the Zombie Full World of Oz, which is awesome. And
my friend Megan, when they were at BirdCon, I pointed them over to Eric, and I was like, if you want a good comic, just go over there right now, grab all his issues, read it. And she messaged me later. She was mad at me because there's only 3 issues and she wants more.
Eric's working on it. I have it on good authority. He's working on it. And by the way, Eric, I may have to talk to you about maybe sponsoring a reprint of #1. I keep moving through those. Carl Witzman says that would be cool. A mere mention of a crowdfunding is cool, but not a whole thrust, as you said. And Sarah says, I think I know who you're vague booking. Yes, you do. Problem solved. We solve problems around here. And Joe D. McPhee, always a pleasure to see you, my friend. 10 o'clock every Saturday night for great reviews of comics and interviews and all kinds of wonderful stuff. Everybody loves him. And
I've got to skedaddle, my friend.
Yeah.
Kids are wanting food, so I got to do the provider thing.
Oh, God, the alpha thing. Jeez. Well, it's good to have you here, Rick. I appreciate you coming on, brother.
Good to be here. Anytime, man. Anytime you need me, let me know.
Will do, my friends, and vice versa.
All right, everyone, take care. Stay creative. Oh, there we go.
There you go. What he said.
See ya.
See you, Rick. Thanks so much for being here. I appreciate it, man. So there we go. Try to help with the little button there. And thank you so far for all your comments on my questions. It is helping. It is quite a bit. And Cookie and the F-Bomb, the newest show from Rising Tide. Oh, God, why are you people encouraging her? And everyone's saying hello and keep Cookie cussing at home. Yeah, try and stop her. Good luck with that. And in my bedroom, that's right. Yeah, Cookie and I were in Sarah's bedroom. I like to be a little more discreet, though. Anyway, and Cindy Kemp says, from Tim Vine, I'd like to start with the chimney jokes. I've got a stack of them. The first one is on the house. Oh my God, I love you, Cindy. You're awesome. And I love Daphne. I do too, Sarah. And she's just so much fun. I'm looking forward to having her on here. And Meredith needed to do a show promoting crowdfunding, and so does Heather Allen. Exactly. It's like, in fact, I turned down somebody approached me about a guest, and I turned them down because one, I see them everywhere. And I told them, I said, I don't want to be part of the crowd that, then I just become one more show, one more stop on the tour. And I don't think you guys and gals deserve that. Although we did talk, and I may get a rather cool guest as a result. But anyway, and it's nothing personal. I don't even know the person. So anyway, Nebulizer will be on my list to review for Comic Book Spectrum. We ought to call you. We ought to see if we can get that. We'll call you in on that. That'd be fun. And I don't even bring up my books that are out because there are a lot of books that need a review. Exactly. And most of my stuff isn't out yet. So anyway, Sarah says, I'm still tapping the Zombie World of Oz vein. There are many books I see promoted that I want, but would only be able to get if Kickstarter and Indiegogo gift cards in stores. Sarah, you've got a set of Zombie World of Oz. Trust me. And love to you too, Rick. Don, Carlene, is he practicing on us so that figure for his kids? Could be. And Rick Bradley, bring the rising tide home. Exactly. That's the thing, Rick. That's another aspect of my building this station, is that it could be a way to bring some people home, not just Cookie, but a lot of other people that we might get to drop their 9-to-5s. And Tommy Cooper said, according to Cindy Cap, I went to buy some camouflage trousers the other day, but I couldn't find any. OMG, my ex-husband is a chimney sweeper. I was called Mary Poppins when we were married because you were practically perfect in every way, I suppose. Anyway, we're caught up with the comments. So let's see. Oh, more questions. Again, I'd love to have your input. And we'll give about 5 minutes for the replies to come in. Now, we've had some shows where most shows we allow the audience to provide questions, and we also had a couple shows where I think people weren't familiar enough with the guests to come up with something germane to what they did, and so I wound up asking the questions. So, do you prefer a show where I do the questioning or where you guys do the questioning? I would love to hear your comments on that. We'll give that about 5 minutes. Okay. And there we go. We'll let that go. And good one, Cindy. And Carl is trying to imagine Sarah as Mary Poppins. Nope. Can't you see her with a little umbrella and the big, impossibly thick sack like a TARDIS? And I have free comic book days books to share with you too. Oh, cool. And I would love a show with both. Okay, cool. We'll put you down for both. Actually, I'll make a me, audience, both. Yeah, I love asking the questions. It's the old journalism student in me. And a lot of people I've had on here, like I didn't know Dan Doherty very well, and I didn't know Seth DeMoose. Actually, I didn't know either of them at all personally. But by the end of by the end of our interview, I was really glad I had them on because I wanted to learn more about them. Now I've had, I'm looking at my cast list. People like Jackie Nelson, she and I are dear friends. Teresa, Rick Bradley, Cindy Cap, Charles F. Millhouse. A lot of the people on here I know, and I want to expose them to the audience. And then I've had some people like, let me see here. Like Clayton Merwin, I didn't know him very well, but after the end of the interview we did with the Hero Maker, he was fantastic. I learned a lot more about him. Let's see, who else have we got? Brian Wensloff. Then we had the classic episode, as Sarah talked about earlier, when it's our Halloween episode when Ron Fitzgerald came on and cosplayed as me. That was a riot. I wanted to meet John C. Bruning, so I had him on as a guest, and now we're friends. And who else? And I've got a small list of people I have not asked, but I intend to. But I didn't know Lisa Malone that well. I got to know her pretty well, I was glad to say. Michael Watson, I wanted to know more about him. He's fantastic. I love his drive. Ted Sikora, Anna Maria Salvaggio. Let's see who else. John L. Davis Jr., I knew him pretty well. Mike Jimmy Lorsha de Bruin. We had done several shows together on Indie Volt, but I never really got to interview him until he was on here. And he was such a delight. He was so wonderful. Anyway, let's get to your answers now. Carl Westman said, if Sarah had an umbrella and bag, I'd see her more as Abby on NCIS. Now that I could see. And both from Damian Waldron. Okay. All right, we got 2 votes for that. And Cindy says, see, that's a peculiar question. If it's someone who is knowledgeable about something, I want to know if it's a great time to ask. Some other folks, I don't know enough to ask competent questions. Yeah, that's the thing. Sometimes you don't know what you don't know. And we have gotten some questions where it's been totally off topic. And that's the sort of thing that, I'd like to keep it. And I know we've had some people who have asked questions simply to be able to say they've participated. And and yes, Donna and Carl, you know what I'm talking about. I think I like the questioning from the audience when it is germane to what the person does. So, or related to their interests as they talk about. But anyway, thank you, Cindy. That is an excellent answer. And you asked the question seems more organized. Using all rando questions from the chat seems a little unprofessional. Then do a few from the chat. Okay. All right. Thank you, Eric. That's a good answer. And maybe take public questions, but weed out the ones that don't fit or were already answered. We try to do that. Because I recognize that some people can't come in at the top of the show. So that I appreciate that. And Donna Carleen says, I think a mixture of both. It's like you said, I'm not acquainted with some of the artists, and so have no questions. Okay. Thank you, Donna. And depends on the guest, really, says Dan Holofield. Check out his Last Man Standing, 11 p.m. on Thursday nights after Stupid O'Clock, and 1 a.m. after Stupid O'Clock on Saturdays. It depends on the guest, really. There should be flexibility to blend between host, interviewing, and audience questions. And from Destin Small Press Publisher, who's an excellent interviewer, says, I learned to have more of a conversation than set of questions. A good conversation brings interaction with viewers. I found that too. I fully agree with that, Joe. And in fact, that's more my style. I was raised, I remember Dick Cavett and Johnny Carson. But the one show that really influenced me, I think we were getting it. I can't remember if it was, it wasn't our local PBS station. I remember it was, I think out of WGN out of Chicago before they went satellite. And they used to run the David Susskind show, and it was a very intellectual show. A lot of the questions went over my head, but that's where I learned the long form question. But a lot of times it was a conversation, and I prefer listening to those as well. And that's what I try to do here. I very rarely have questions pre-made. I did at first when I started this, but I've gotten more comfortable doing it to the point where, especially if I know them to some degree, I won't pre-write down any questions, but I will make bullet points that, okay, I want to ask them about this. Make sure I ask them about that. So anyway, no, that's an excellent answer. Thank you, Joe. And my grandfather invented the cold air balloon, but it never really took off, says Milton Joe. Thank you, Cindy Cap. And Sarah says, I like how we and you ask questions so that you don't have to find a ton of things to ask. That, and some people ask things that we may get more involved with. Okay. Thank you, Sarah. Okay, make a note of that. I appreciate that. And so that's why I have some standard questions. What's your fave techie tool, and what's your next project, etc. No, I love that, Cindy. And those questions that you ask are very relevant. The fact that we can use them with a variety of guests shows how excellent they are. And I'm sure everybody's got, I can't think of too many people we've had on that wouldn't have like some sort of, as you call it, techie tool. Of course, like with writers, I would, think, that like I have a computer, I have Scriveners, I'm rocking. Anyway, good stuff, Cindy. I appreciate that, and I hope I don't ask questions that seem as if I'm asking without true interest. No, you don't. You don't do that, Sarah. I have had people that do, and oddly enough, some of their questions never got asked. Oh, go figure. Anyway, but no, you are remarkably on target. You really are. So I have no complaints with you, darling. I never have. And Tim Vine via Cindy Cap says, somebody actually complimented me on my driving today. They left a little note on the windscreen that said parking fine. So that was nice. I love the jokes. And Amy Hale had a photographer as a guest, and I was the only photographer in the audience. It felt a little awkward for her, I'm sure. That could be. Well, the thing is, I have never had a guest on that I don't know at least a little something that they do, and I've had so many jobs in my checkered past that I'm sure I can find some sort of common ground with almost every guest. But no, I've had if I know that they draw comics, I can ask about their influences, or filmmakers. Of course, I knew we had Moonlight Films, and I knew them personally. So, it all depends on the guest. It all depends on the guest, how I approach them. Or, says Eric Hawkins, if you want to have several viewer questions, have people submit them a few days before the show. Now, that's a good idea, Eric. Thank you. And that's a good one, Cindy. I agree with Joe D. McPhee on that. And interesting, Eric, sometimes my interest is peaked during the show, but that's still a good idea. Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad. I think there's something to the both approaches, in that if I come in and I have some questions that I know the audience wants answered, that I can steer the conversation in that way. Whereas, like I can tell when, for instance, I think it's a lot of fun when Sarah doesn't know who, and I'm just using you as an example. There's more than just you, but people might not know who someone is. And then they start to learn about them and they're like, holy cats, I've got to get some answers from this guy. This is fantastic. Or this gal. I've seen a little bit of it last time with Stuart Sager. Again, I knew of his cred. I knew that he did a lot of great work, and I learned a lot about him during last week's show. Because, we haven't really had an opportunity to sit down and we've never had dinner together or anything, but we're friends. And it was fun to see you guys figure out who he was, and then start tailoring your questions to what you wanted to know about him to fill in the spaces. So it was good stuff. Cindy Kemp via Tommy Cooper says, a man walked into the doctor's. He said, I have hurt my arm in several places. The doctor said, well, don't go there anymore. Oh my God, I'm thinking poor Cookie and her elbow. Anyway, once you get a producer, they can help weed out the questions and let you keep the convo going. I'm grateful for my producers. And in fact, what I might like to do, Carl is one of my backstops, and so is Joe Dog McKeel. I might, if someone is interested, what they do is when I get somebody who we have had problems with trolls, and I saw that we had somebody earlier who was making snotty remarks. We don't put them on the air, but we'll go back later and deal with them. But anyway, I wouldn't mind having 2 or 3 more if you don't mind. If anyone's interested in becoming not really a producer for the show, but somebody who can be here for a lot of the show, and when you see somebody in the comments saying terrible things, take a screen capture for me and then block them. We've gotten pretty good at that sort of thing. But we can always use some more help. And I appreciate Carl and Joe Dog and everybody that helps me in that regard. And love you, awesome people. Love you right back, Pops. We were saying splendid things about you, young man. And don't forget, hope you all checked out CromCon this last weekend because it's a good time. And BKM has a producer. She just doesn't want to work the boards or F-bombs may turn people off. Oh, my God. Oh, pardon me. I'm so sorry. Jody McPhee, you're probably right. The thing is, she doesn't put a lot of. She watches the shows occasionally, and God bless her, she gives it a like, which you all should do. If you haven't liked the show on Facebook, please do. And if you haven't given me a thumbs up on YouTube, that would help me so much. Thank you, and subscribe if you haven't already. But anyway, no, she doesn't really. I don't really get her feedback on a lot of these shows. In fact, I don't think I even tell her who I'm going for guests. I will run ideas by her, and she's really good about helping. But the broadcasting aspect is more or less, let Brian have his fun. Anyway, I'm good at kicking the Nazis out of YouTube. You are, Carl. You rock at that. And Carl, I don't tell you enough how much I appreciate you. I really don't. I really do. And thank you for Friday. Carl will be hosting Nevermind the Furthermore and doing a splendid job of it, much better than I could ever do. So anyway, I'm mod for you anytime, Brian. Pops, you're on. Thank you, brother. And I would return the favor should you need me. And Joe Dog McKeel, just now getting here, had dinner with in-laws, should have been here. Well, this is your safe space, Joe Dog. Anyway, check out Joe Dog McKeel Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. on Saturdays for Stupid O'Clock. They say stupid in the title, but it's one of the smartest, funniest talk shows on nerdy conversation in the world, in the universe, in the galaxy, in this whole reality. Excuse me. Oh, and another thing your mods can do is post link for your guests and fellow hosts in the chat, whereas a non-mod cannot post links that will show up. Eric, yeah, and Eric's one of my people too. I forgot about you, Eric. I'm sorry. But anyway, yeah, Eric and Joe Dog and Carl keep this place cleaned up, except when Cookie's here. But anyway, Carl Wisman, that haunted mold is getting to Brian. Yeah. Well, I figured it out, Carl. Last year, I wore a mask most of the time, whereas this time I just socially distance. And I think I got some of that stuff deep in my lungs. So last couple of days have been an adventure, and you and Donna were so right, but for a lot of reasons. But I had a good time though, and thank you to Jason and Keith for having me and Cookie over for non-con last weekend. It was a glorious time, and I can do that. Though sometimes I'm like a wrecking ball coated in antimatter, so I'm not sure I'd be a good fit. Dirt Ben Facepalm, says Sarah. Well, thank you for at least considering it. Well, and from That's a Small Press Publisher, an Uncle Carl Friday or a Carl Whitman Friday. Big difference when it comes to Nevermind the Furthermore. This is the preamble to the Green Room. Let's put it this way. This is the respectable Carl Whitman side, whereas Friday night will be the Green Room. And if you're a member of Uncle Carl's secret humor page, you'll know what I mean. Cindy Cap says, from Billy Connolly, I love Billy Connolly. I worry about ridiculous things, you know. How does a guy who drives a snowplow get to work in the morning? That can keep me awake for days. I love Billy Connolly. He's hilarious. He's awesome. Thank you, Cindy Cap. So anyway, thank you all for your answers. This has been very helpful. And let's see. I had some comments on comments. Well, I will ask one thing. As this show grows, and I've said this from about a year ago, my ability to keep up on the comments has been seriously hampered. And I know that at one point we had a show where I was a full 2 hours behind. It was one of the clever title pendings. I was, I think, 2 hours behind in the comments because the nature of the show is you comment, I comment, we have a conversation. As I've said from day one, the thing is that slows the show down. And I've talked to some people and they say, well, we watch the show because of you and how you react to us and everything. And I get that and I appreciate that. But should I try to edit more of the conversations? For instance, when you guys say hello to each other, I don't read as much of those. Should I get really selective about the comments in order to do a better job of keeping up with them? Should I do that? Should I edit more? Yes or no? I'd love your feedback. Let's see. I'm just a little protective. Whoa, Sarah, I love it. I love it. Never mind the furthermore, I behaved myself. Carl, that's more than I managed to do. So anyway, that, and I have one more question after that. But anyway, do you want, and I'm being mocked by Jody McPhee's laughter, which I understand. Anyway, so should I edit comments more? And should this include promotions? That's another aspect, because, well, actually it doesn't relate to Nevermind. It doesn't relate to Clever Title Pending so much, but because we don't really stress promotion on the show except for my guest. We have had some people come on here and think it's their promo time, and I've had to do a little mid-course correction. Eric Hawkins says, yes, limit the comments. Okay. I'm giving a thought. And Cindy says, you're under no obligation of reading my or anyone else's comments. So I don't get the folks who get persnickety about that. Cindy, that's a good point. And thank you. I think some people just don't understand the format of the show. And I know we have had some people that think that they post the comment and I'm supposed to drop what I'm doing and read it when I could be so far back, I don't even know the comment's been made. And we've also had some technical difficulties with the Facebook StreamYard interface where I don't see questions. Or if let's say somebody shares it to another page, which I appreciate, it helps so much, but they share it and someone comments on the shared page, I probably won't see that. And I've had people, well, you didn't read my comment. And I've had some regulars on here get downright nasty about it, including some people I considered good friends. And I have been about one step away from blocking them on this show, but they got bent out of shape when I wouldn't read their comments, and we had to have a talk. So, but anyway, let's see. Let's get back to your comments. But anyway, Cindy, thank you so much, hon. And yes, especially on the special Clever Title Pending episodes. And yes, cut out some of the never mind the furthermore comments too. Not all of them are germane. Yes, I'm trying to get better at that, Carl. And with help, I will do that. Cindy Cap says, editing comments more if that helps you keep stuff on track. Yeah. And from this small press publisher, selective as far as staying on topic. Yes, I see the issue is too many topics being discussed at one time. Focusing things may help. Okay. All right. Excellent. Thank you, Joe. And if it's best for you to edit the comments, please do so. Donna Carlene says, I'm with Cindy. You don't have to read all my comments. I'll let you know which ones you need to see. Well, and the thing is, we could creates, like, I watched the StreamYard show on Sunday nights to get some more information on how to do the StreamYard thing better, and this is the glorious result, such as it is. But sometimes I get more attention if I preface it with the word question, if I have a question for the host. And it might be that we have to create some sort of language that helps me weed out the stuff that's not incredibly pertinent to what we are discussing, whatever that is. And right, sometimes on Clever Title Pending, we have our own private discussions, and those don't need to be read either. Yeah, Carl, I'm getting better. Clever Title Pending, I do a lot, and on Comic Book Spectrum, I've learned to do a lot more editing. On Nevermind the Furthermore, not so much, and I'm kind of asking for that as well. Absolutely, Carl. And Cindy Cap says, for Nevermind the Furthermore, it's more of a wild conversation. So yeah, editing might be trickier. Clever Title Pending or a Comic Book Spectrum, yeah, editing the comments would be a good idea. I think the shows are more directed. Yeah, those are a little more subject centric. So Comic Book Spectrum is the easiest one to self-edit. I tried reading all the episodes one night, and it really did throw off the rhythm of the show. Clever Title Pending, I can keep them on the guests, so very helpful, all of you. Dan Hollifield says, yes, perhaps yes. Once again, depending on the mood of the show in question, sometimes we want to see just you and the guests converse, and sometimes we want to be part of the conversations too. Yeah, and I never want to have a time, Dan, when you guys feel like you're not part of the conversation. I try to bring you in, and occasionally we'll have a guest who, some guests are better talkers than others, and they don't need a whole lot of prompting, which I love, because they're, I love the storytellers among us, of which I am one. So yeah, so I guess it's kind of a case by case thing. Eric Hawkins, what does Jermaine Jackson have to do with any of this? I don't know. I was asking Tito, and he was wondering too. And Cindy Cap says, if my snarky comments, links, and goofy jokes are problematic, I can edit myself. I'm a trained professional. Cindy, on the morning show, I love those. I seriously do. And I think everyone else does, because one, you're so creative with them, and they're different every time. And I appreciate your plugging my shows, because I do such a or my books and everything, because I do such a terrible job, because I'm trying to help you guys. And Sarah says, you can see my comments without reading them out loud. Well, I appreciate that, folks. I really do. And there's probably coming a time, especially as I get closer to getting 1,000 people on my my YouTube page, and I'm not doing it just to get the super chats. Let's get that out of the way. I had somebody who has since been banned from this network kept accusing me, well, you just want the super chats, and I'm not going to turn them down, but by the same token, I don't live for them. That's, I still want to have the organic conversations as best we can. And yes, Joe Dog McKeel, don't read this comment. It'll just extend the show another minute or so. Yeah, I definitely won't read your comment, Joe. So hi, honey. How you doing? Okay, good to see you. My honey is home again. Honey, don't swear. Oh, God, again. Can't take her anywhere.
Poopity, poopity, poop.
Yes, everyone is still finding your potty mouth charming, woman.
Okay, then pee.
Go do that, honey. You go do that. What have we wrought? Anyway, I won't read that comment, Joe. I won't even comment on it. I won't even bring any attention to it at all. So thank you for that comment. We'll be coming back to that comment later. For the National Small Press publisher, Eric Hawkins, is because Tito Jackson is trying to steal BCAM Spotlight, where we need Jermaine to keep him busy. That's right. There we go. And we need Cindy more love on Nevermind the Furthermore, too. We cannot love Cindy enough. I'm serious. She's practically the Ed McMahon to my Johnny Carson. She is fantastic. And you don't need to read my time reminder for Nevermind the Furthermore. No, I find it hilarious. I really do. Especially when I get far behind. Eric Hawkins says, now this is my personal opinion, but your outros might be a tad long. On CBS, I get up, get more coffee, take a whiz, and smoke a cigarette, and come back and it's still running. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking about that too, in that my closings, my openings, I don't want to I never want to not thank my sponsors. I never want to not thank my Patreon subscribers and to bring your attention to the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. But I am mentally trying to, at the opening, I understand, but at the end, well, of course, after Comic Book Spectrum, we all could use a bathroom break. But anyway, at the end, I am considering I've got much of that information in many of my outros. Oddly enough, the one that I don't have it for is Comic Book or not Comic Book, but for Clever Title Pending, because Amy Hale did my my introductions and outros for Nevermind the Furthermore. We love you, Amy. And she also did the intro for this show. But life intervened, and she never got around to doing my outro, which is fine. And I hate to nag her for it, because I hate to sound ungrateful. It's like, hey, you got one done. Where's the other one? So, because it was at a very affordable price, if you know what I mean. So anyway, so yeah, no, Eric, I agree with you, and I need to work on that. I'm glad you brought that up. And Super Chat, Carl has donated 10 cents. Yeah, there we go. There you go. And you get 20 cents change. And how's Madam Executive Producer tonight? Well, Joe, thank you for asking. She has just gone off work, and I'm sure that soon I'm going to have to feed her. So anyway, red sky at night, Shepherd's Delight, blue sky at night, day. Tom Perry and Cindy Camp. Thank you, Cindy. And it's for your mental well-being to edit as needed. Okay, thank you. Yeah, because I do feel bad when I fall way behind in comments. So I appreciate everyone's input on that. I really do. And Rick Bradley says Amy and John Hale are the best. Seriously, I love those two so bloomin' much. I do too. I really do. I felt bad when they couldn't be at NonCon last weekend, but I should be seeing them hopefully at Cape Con this coming weekend. We are going to be at the go to cape-con.com for information. We're going to be we're not going to be at the convention center this year. We're going to the Drury Hotel Convention Center, and that promises to be quite the swank affair. So and it's kind of nice having. I got spoiled at Imaginarium, being in the hotel where the event is taking place, so I can bring all my crap up to the room or whatever, and then if I need like refills on the books or anything, I just run upstairs and get them. It's going to spoil me. So anyway, I love them too. Eric Hawkins says one thing to think about is that part of the algorithm is people watching 100% of a show. Long outros might make people click out early on the reruns. That is true. Most of my shows, in all honesty, average out about. Most people watch about half of them because they do get long. They really do. I'm trying to think. Yeah, and some shows it's like I don't get any less than 30 minutes from most people, average viewing. So, I may try to do something to bring the shows in closer to an hour or an hour and a half. That I'm more comfortable with that. But that's an ongoing thing. That's things we will work on. And thank you, Eric. Eric, I do really appreciate your feedback on it. So one last question, and then we're going to, I think we're going to wrap this up. And thank you for your answers. They've been super helpful. I mean that in all seriousness. What can I do that I've not asked? What can I do to improve Clever Title Pending when it returns? Like I said, when the Dastardly Dingoes take a break, we will probably step back in, and we are almost certain to get some sort of specials going. And I've got some ideas for that. That might be a lot of fun. But anyway, anybody have any ideas that might improve clever title pending overall that I have not asked you about? Carl Witzman says, might run 1 or 2 ads in the middle to give yourself some time to dump the hail pail. I've thought about that. I would like to be able to do it on a regular time schedule. I don't seem able to make that happen. And plus, there's to me, there's an issue when I've got somebody like, we're picking up a couple sponsors in the next few weeks. Running a free ad in the middle of a show, unless it's like for maybe my books, some of these guys are paying for the real estate, if you know what I mean. So, of course, then again, when they're sponsoring, they get read at the top of the bottom, so they're going to get twice as many mentions. Maybe I'll just mention them too in the middle of the show. That would be. I think we solved the question, maybe, Carl? Maybe we solved the problem. For the Small Press Publisher, here's a question for you, Eric Hawkins. Is sponsors and ads better at the beginning since it would give people time to tune in later in the show and people would know to skip ahead 5 minutes or so? That's a question I know you asked it to Eric, but I'll give you my opinion. It used to be that the show would start really about 10 minutes in. I have been trimming the front end of it to a large degree, and I know I need to do more, but I used to let the card, I'll show you the card. I've got one for every show, and it's basically like this: starting soon. And I used to let that run about a minute or two to give people time to get in here. And then I started watching some other people who do live broadcasting, and their response was, try to start your show in the first 10 seconds because you've got to train your audience to show up on time. So I've been doing that, and my numbers have been getting better as a result. So anyway, so that's mine. But anyway, yeah, I'd like to hear some other feedback on that. Here's your answer to question 42. Joe Dog McKeel, thank you so much. It's been a great show, everyone. Thank you very much. Drive home safely. This has been Clever Title Pending. Anyway, where are you traveling this weekend? Not sure what state it's in. Oh, it's in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. We are going to be there with, it's going to be a star-studded, it's going to be a pretty big show. So please, we'd love it if y'all come see us at Cape Girardeau. We'll go to Pho 8 together. It's where you can get a good bowl of pho. And congrats to BCAM. Great run shows, my friend. Here's some many more. Thank you so much, Ted Davies, Artistry. And Ted, congratulations on your super success coming up. I'm so very proud of you. And I'm looking forward to when I can say I knew you win. Anyway, check out Ted's cigar show with Carl tomorrow morning around 11 o'clock Eastern, 10 Central. And I assume, and we all know what happens when you make assumptions. It makes an ass out of you and umptions. Thank you, Samuel L. Jackson. But anyway, proud of you, Ted, and I appreciate you being my friend. And cycle through the different ads, maybe not do them all every time. I don't mind doing the ones at the end. I have thought about doing a special show where I talk nice about you guys. And, because I've got about, not counting my book trailers, I think I've got 8 or 9, maybe 10 shows, but something to think about. I'm getting some ideas already. You guys are helping a lot. And for the Small Press Publisher, says Eric Hawkins, I think, like Carl said, some mid-show ads as well as in the beginning, especially in the middle, right when something is getting interesting, so they stay. I trim my front end too. Oh, see, there is one you should skip and not read. Okay, there you go. And editorial or commentary focus show from this Small Press Publisher. Sometimes you don't need a guest to have a guest show. People like you and may listen to an issue that affects all in an area. I wouldn't mind that. Because I did read something. It kind of reminds me of something I wouldn't mind tossing around on Comic Book Spectrum. I noticed that Marvel, it said in the Hollywood Reporter a couple of days ago that Marvel is getting proactive about securing their intellectual properties, having fended off a challenge from the Jack Kirby estate, which would have been damn near everything in Marvel before 1975. But now they're going after the various estates of people who have passed away, such as Steve Ditko, and who has already filed for copyright reversal, which we can explain later. But they're also going after people like Gene Colan, and Larry Lieber, and who is still alive, by the way. He's Stan Lee's brother, by the way, because he wrote the first episodes of Thor, Iron Man, and Ant-Man, who turned into Giant Man. So he's basically co-creator of 3 of the Avengers. I don't remember why Gene Colan's getting sued, but who else? They can't sue Stan because he was definitely worked for hire, whereas these others were freelancers. Steve did go for Doctor Strange primarily, and Doctor Strange and Spider-Man, and then Don Rico and Don Heck for the Black Widow, because Don Rico wrote the script over Stan Lee's plot. So anyway, that's I wouldn't mind doing shows on copyrights and trademarks. That could be interesting. But I could talk. I know enough about the subject. I could talk, but definitely would if you want real advice, go hire an attorney. And take care of you. You do a good job of taking care of everyone else, but you also matter. Thank you, Cindy. I just sometimes forget, I'm a little obsessed with this mission, if you haven't noticed, but I appreciate that, Cindy. Thank you so much. Damien Walburn, I genuinely can't think of anything. You tend to be on it. Well, I appreciate that, Damien. Thank you. We got to get you on the show, too. Pardon me. We got to get you on the show once we come back. Sarah, I like the drawing of a package for those who ask related topics like Jeffrey did. I notice people narrowed down the questions. Yeah, that helps once we get the right questions in and people get in on, on who that person is, and they can really zero in on the questions they really need answered. And other things that might help, don't know, you do AbFab. Thank you, Cindy. Thank you. I'd really love to see you start doing some broadcasting, because you are so terrific, and you've gotten so much more at ease in front of the camera in the last couple of years that I've known you. So, and just an idea. No, it's a good one, Sarah. Thank you. And how-tos, yeah, demos, story time. Now, that's something we haven't done. That's a good idea. I'd actually thought about something like that when Clever Title Pending started, and I kind of got distracted. Hold on. DJs used to have a button that they push every time they had to cough or belch or something. And I sometimes forget to use mine. But live readings would be great. I'd love to get like Heather Ellen and get some people with some very short stories on here. Maybe some flash fiction. And I do think call-in guests could change things. I have toyed with the idea of call-in. The only thing that keeps me from doing it is that's the part of the flow of the show I can't control, or at least I have less control of. If I were to what I would do is get a burner phone, and my microphone is just like slightly out of camera here. It's like, here's the edge of it, but I would put a burner phone next to it so I could hear it, and then it would pick up the sound from the speaker, and I could have a conversation that way. I just probably would get very picky about who got that number, is the thing, because I can see a lot of our trolls getting a hold of it and making this place very uncomfortable. A good one, Cindy. I love the reading of a chapter of BKM's book. Yeah, Sarah, that's right. When we did the daily, never mind the furthermore, a year and a half ago, I on Sundays I was serializing the Santastein. I was reading Santastein, and we never did get through it, did we? And call-in could get complicated with the troll shenanigans without a pre-screener. Yeah, there we go. And we wouldn't be able to pre-screen unless we set up a system where, like OBS, which is another broadcast system that Carl is especially great at, but I suck at it. I did try it originally with this show. Until I got into StreamYard. And what about people reading a page of their work? Now, Donna, Carlene, I think that is something we should try for when we get back. I like it. And me, I can't imagine what it would be about. Well, about you and what interests you. People want to see that, Cindy. it's like the old thing about nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care, and you're one of the most caring people that I know. And Sarah, and maybe read part of a comic book here and there, but I'm not sure that's legal. It would be legal if we owned it. And Damien, I see your PM to me. I will check it out after the show. And next time Cindy is on my show, says from this a small press publisher, she might do a stand-up routine. She's funny as heck. She really is. She is terrific. In fact, Joe, I had a great time. I think it was a couple months ago, was me and Cindy and you, and I had a super time on that program. And I think it'd be all right if it's the artist doing his or her own work, Sarah. Okay, good. I hope, says I agree. And just have to warn me ahead of time, Joe, so I can load up a few joke pages. And yes, says Carl Witzman, a call in where the car warranty guy could catch all of us at once. There we go. Now we're talking. Maybe we'll get one of those guys with the Northern African accents who work for Microsoft. We can get them too. And yes, I will do that, Cindy. Great. Yeah. Some of these ideas, Joe, feel free to use some of them too. Any of you guys that do your own shows. And yes, Donna, I was referring to comic books. We may get at the comic book shop. Yeah, the thing is, I think we could do it. There is a mechanism in copyright law called fair use that we could do. But that's something to consider. That is something to consider. And yeah, Cindy, I think there'd be a copyright thing there. Potentially, yes, Donna, there would be. But also there is a way to do it so it meets the 4 tenets of fair use, which is like comedy / parody, and it needs to be transformative from the original, which it would be because we're reading it and interpreting it. And it has to link back to the original and not destroy the commercial viability of the original. Anyway, and speak of the devil, I just got a message from Ron. Will you lucky girl you? Tell Ron I love him and hope he's well. And Sarah says, Sarah, you can do it as a review commentary of work and like how I do it on my shows. So, yeah, that's a good idea. And Sarah, think about broadcasting. Okay. You will have no end of help between me and Joe and everyone else here. So anyway, and we're caught up. And 2 hours. Yes. Anyway, I appreciate everybody's feedback. It has been very helpful. And I want to give a special thanks to John B. Pica and Rick Bradley for dropping in on me. That meant a lot to me. It really did. And okay, I'm still learning about legalities. That's I know enough about the law in order to keep from being dangerous. So, Joe D, when did you change your name to Sarah? Says Carlene. And one of the reasons most fears my editorial reviews. Yeah, Joe is very thorough. I find them very entertaining. And that's why we love them on Comic Book Spectrum. We got to find a way to make you permanent. I think. I really do. And I did, Donna. Anyway, you guys figure it out. But anyway, no, seriously, thank you all for helping me with my questions on Clever Title Pending, some of which will also apply to the other 2 shows I do. So your feedback, you hear that thing on the phone answering service about, your call means a lot to us. Well, your feedback means a lot to me. And I appreciate the time you all took to give me some feedback on my questions. And if you ever think of anything that you'd like me to consider, please, please, please don't be afraid to drop me a line on Facebook or wherever. And he just called you Sarah. And thank you for having me on. Well, appreciate your being here, my man. And we will do this again, I promise. A great show, good and targeted too. Yeah, with you guys for keeping me focused. I appreciate that. And thank you, Carl. And don't forget, Carl will be hosting Never Mind the Furthermore on Friday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central while I'm on the road. And please tune in and say hi to Carl because he does such a super job. Carl, if you ever wanted to take the show, I'd let you have it. Anyway, and Carl's like hell, I retired, man. But anyway, and thanks for hosting the adventure. Cindy, as always, thank you for your participation in the show. You are a valuable and valued part of this enterprise, and we love you to death. We really do. And so, with that, we're going to close out the show. And so, a lorry load of tortoises crashed into a train load of terrapins. I thought that's a turtle disaster, said Peter K. That's right. And great show. I want more, but another time. We will do more shows from this from Small Press Publisher. But if you want to see another great show, people, check this man out Saturday nights at 10 p.m., 9 p.m. Central. Joe D. McPhee runs a great show. And every now and then we have him on Clever on Comic Book Spectrum. We love it. And much love. Have a great night, Damon. Thank you so much. I'll check your message later. And going to get that script done, I promise. And Sarah, my name is twice. Some call me Sarah Squared. You are far from square. You're hipper than most of us. And night, everyone. Donna, thank you very much for being here. Thank you all. Appreciate you all. And again, thank you for the feedback you gave me. Much appreciated. Much helpful. And I'll keep ideas in mind. Please do. And night to you, Carl. And everyone, take care and stay creative. There's your tagline, brother, for your show. Looking forward to seeing what you and Donovan do. And I want to thank everyone again for letting us take out the very first seasons, like about 8 of them at least, of Clever Title Pending. And how it has changed and transformed, and all because of you guys. And love you too, Dan. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. And love you to the abyss and back always. You too, Sarah. Sarah, thank you so much. And good night, everybody. Joe Dog, thank you as always, my friend. Appreciate you so much. And thank you for your comments. Thank you for keeping this show going for 2 years. And I hope you give at least as much love to the Dastardly Dingoes when they follow me here next week. They are taking over the 8 p.m. Tuesday time slot. But it's not the last you'll see of me. Like I said, we'll continue to do Nevermind the Furthermore Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays at 10 a.m. Eastern. And we'll be starting a brand new show on October 1st called BK Minutes. It's a 1-minute show. I spent an hour and a half putting the first 10 episodes together this morning, and or this afternoon rather. But anyway, it's a work in progress. It's going to get ironed out. But anyway, we hope you like the show, and we look forward to your comments and your feedback on it. And that's all I can think of to say. And no, Sarah, we cannot remove the spine licking. That is, here's all my notes, Sarah. That's for you, darling. All right. Love you, Sarah, and love all of you. Thank you again so much. I'm going to check in on my child bride, and we don't have a closing for this show. So, and here's a little thing. People, I noticed that the screen that we made doesn't exactly fill the whole screen. The card we made doesn't fill the screen. So if you ever wonder why sometimes it looks like this, it's because I put a business card up on the camera to block me in. See, you're learning so much about behind the scenes here on this low no budget show. So anyway, folks, thank you again for being here. And don't forget, check out, that's something from Willow that I kept. Anyway, check out the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. We've got a page on Facebook, and your entertainment's covered 7 days a week. Don't forget, tomorrow's Thursday. So, Wednesday, Wednesday. So in the morning, you'll see me at 10 a.m. For Nevermind the Furthermore. And then tomorrow night at 7 p.m. will be Ted Davies and Glenn B. Fleming. The Truth Mongers are going to investigate crop circles. And if you don't know what they are, then you definitely need to check that great show out. It is fantastic. Also, don't forget, Thursday nights, I will be on Comic Book Spectrum with Clyde Hall, Brian Rodman, and the one, the only Eric S. Hawkins, as we review the latest comic book releases and talk about the industry. We've got all kinds of things to talk about. Please join us. And also, we want to send some love to our Patreon subscribers. Patreon's a monthly subscription service where you can support your favorite creators with a small monthly stipend. And in return, we give you all kinds of cool stuff. For instance, these people support me. They have their own pages. Please give them a look. But also, you can get your name on this card, and you can start and end every show I do. So if you want to see your name here, go to www.patreon.com/Brian K. Morris and see what we offer you. Also, we want to thank the one, the only Jeffrey Hayes for sponsoring this episode of Clever Title Pending. Plasma Fire Graphics. You'll love what they do. Check them out. Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you. You want the best, you've got the best. It's not just Gene Simmons, it's Plasma Fire Graphics. Check out their Facebook page and check out their page on the interwebs, plasmafiregraphics.com, and inquire about Jeffrey Hayes' rates. They are so super affordable. Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you because it matters to your readers, you darn betcha. And crop circles, isn't that a semicircle? Yes, that's true. It's true. To find out about crop circles, check out tomorrow night's Truth Mongers with Ted and Glenn. It's going to be a great time. And thank you all for a very great time today. I appreciate you all being here. And we'll get our business card ready. And don't forget, next week at 8 p.m., the Dastardly Dingoes take over the spot. But I'm their first guest, so we're all going to have a lot of fun and ease them into this time slot. You will love the Dingoes. If you haven't seen them before, you are in for quite the treat. So anyway, thank you all for your participation. Thank you all for everything you do for me. And we will be back sometime with more clever title pending. But until then, and even beyond then, stay smart, stay safe, wash your hands. Never apologize for being awesome. Have a great week, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. Never mind the furthermore. Have a good night. Bye-bye. And now you know why it's this color.